So I'm out here trying to get the truck washed. I know that sounds super boring, and it is actually. It just is boring, so I'm gonna wash the truck. But I'm going to pick something up today, something very exciting. 90% sure I'm probably gonna buy it, so hopefully it is as nice as I need it to be and works good, so I will buy it then. But first I'm gonna wash the truck. This is a very old machine. I think it's older than me, and this is the only way to start it up anymore. Seems to be the more dangerous way. I think I need two hands. Alright, it's time to go pick up the thing. I have bro Nick here and bro Wyatt. So after you guys saw that cool montage of how nice this quad is, it doesn't run quite the way I want it to. So I need to pull it apart and get stuff, get the carb cleaned. That's how the plastics are held on, and that's how the choke is held from not falling down and choking it. So yeah, hate to rip it apart, but gotta do what you gotta do. So here's a bit of an overview on this quad. The plastics need to be held on by a wire. I took the carb off to clean it first. I need a special tool to get the spark plug out. The battery cables are completely gone, or the connectors. The rear light doesn't stay on. The bar back here is bent. And it's generally in bad shape. It's got 4x4 Honda tires on it with the wrong rims, and it needs a chain and a sprocket set, but I did get it for cheap. So the rest of these old style 400s were going for $3,000, so at least I found a deal somewhere. So I cleaned out the carb on this 400, and that did not help me at all. So I'm gonna jet the carb, and I figured maybe I'll just make a video on how to do that, since I was wondering how to do it and I found a video on it, but if I can make my own, then why not? So you gotta start by removing the gas tank, which is for mine it's these two bolts right under the handlebars, but for someone's that's actually intact it might be different. And then once you get the gas tank off, those two screws for that black cover, just take that cover off. After you get the gas tank off, on the top of the carburetor, like there's the front of the quad, you take off those 3 screws and pull that cover off. See, after you get those screws out from the top cover, again there's the front of the quad, it's just sitting right up here. There's a screw right in there. You need to take that out. After you get that screw out, see this is the it's connected to the throttle, that's the needle. You need to pull the throttle cable off, which is that thing. I mean, when you see it, if you have one of these, it's easy. So pull that out. Once you pull the throttle cable out, then you have to pull this out. Thing that has a C on it. You have to pull that out. Just pull it out, and then there's a washer on the end of this. Don't lose it. So here's this part. Two screws in there, take those out. So there's the parts that'll come out. And the needle just falls out after that. So you can see that C-clip is on there, and there's a few positions to choose from right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to go one above that position, closer to the end of it, and then we'll see what that does. This stupid... There it is. Whatever. You get the idea, hopefully. So, we stuck it one above it was already set at, so we're going to try that. So with that all reassembled, let's put it back on the quad. Same way you took it out, just make sure that the throttle cable is attached correctly after. And with everything set back in there, the screws tight, throttle cable's in. Make sure it's inside that groove right there. And we just gotta test it, see if it revs out. Well, I actually think I fixed it, surprisingly enough. Pretty sure I think it revs all the way out now. I have to ride it yet, but maybe not completely fixed, but progress for sure. I tried to take the baffle out of the muffler, but all the bolts broke off, so now it just sounds really horrible. give up. Don't give up. Keep, oh man. Well, I think I made progress. Couldn't get the 400 running right, so I'm gonna send it off to a shop next week sometime. In the meantime, we got some first gen parts, so we're going to start working on that, putting together the transmission, the shifter, the interior, hopefully. And then hopefully in the next month we might have a completely running and driving truck, hopefully.